Hello, Purposive Communication classmates. Today, I'm going to be reviewing you for your upcoming examination for the midterms. If you've observed for the past few weeks, I haven't been giving you very heavy or very detailed task about, or longer task about some of the lectures. It's because I wanted to reserve the bulk part in the midterm examination. For the midterm examination, you're going to be using class marker and you're going to apply all of the things that you have learned for the midterms. Now, of course, there are a lot of videos that they ask you to watch already or prepared online. So you can find them in your Google Classroom for the playlists. For the playlist, you can see in there under purposive communication, there were differences in week one, week two, etc. This discussion on the registers of language, discussions on the lottery. There are some videos that they ask you to watch. For example, this playlist where you're supposed to go over language versus dialect, etc. All of these things are supposed to be have watched by you already by now. So I've been dividing the tasks and the readings and viewings per week. I hope that you went over them religiously so that you'll be able to survive or for you to be able to do well for the midterm examination. All right, so we're going to have a brief review for this session. After that, I will talk to you about your midterm exam and then I'm going to talk to you about your class marker. For this part, we focused more into varieties and registers of spoken and written language. So for the registers, we've talked about holiday. These are the things that you should know or remember. We talked about Michael Holiday, your field of discourse, the mode of discourse, and the tenor of discourse. So you've done this by analyzing some video clips by with the sitcom Friends. And we also discussed spoken versus written register. And of course, we had the style of spoken English. So it's frozen, formal, consultative, casual, and intimate. Of course, there are also formal registers, which are just reviews from your senior high school. So I asked you to go over them last time during your asynchronous session. I remember. So, for example, informal or casual is more direct, uses active verbs, etc. While in a formal or ritual way, they are indirect and they use passive verbs, etc. So, go over these key terms later on. And of course, here are some practice sessions that you can do, which are similar to your examination for the midterms. Your exam for the midterms is actually sort of an application of all of the things that you have learned. So you're going to apply these ideas or these concepts, but you do not memorize them. They are objectives in a way that I'm going to give you options and you're going to look for the best option when you're going to for a certain situation or for a certain dialogue that I am giving you. For example, let's look at this sentence. I'm sick and tired of your crap. Okay, so is it a greeting, a complaint, or encouragement? But this is not in the exam. So complaint. But what kind of complaint is this line? I'm sick and tired of your crap. Of course, it's not frozen, it's not formal, it's not consultative. So the narrow choices are casual and intimate. But if you think about it, you are still sensitive about your friends' feelings, right? Or other people's feelings, even if these are your acquaintances or your friends. So, very importantly, very importantly, when you are talking to other people, you're very sensitive about it, sensitive communication. So when you use the word crap with someone, more or less, this is in an intimate level. So it's an intimate complaint, right? So, or another line, how's my little snuggy wuggy? So of course, you already know that this is intimate and this is more of a greeting. All right, another last example. Good morning. May I speak to the director, please? I hope you don't mind my stating that the service is unsatisfactory. I would like a refund. It's not frozen, it's not intimate, it's not casual, it's not consultative, it is formal, and it is a complaint. So it's a formal complaint compared to I'm sick and tired of your crap. Okay, so those are some examples that you will be having in your examination. I'll be giving you a sentence or a dialogue and you tell me if it's frozen, formal, consultative, casual, or intimate. Okay. For another similar thing that you may expect for the examination will be your written and your spoken language. So I'm going to give formal or informal. So I'm going to give you a line and you can classify if it is formal or it is informal. For example, when you say I regret my actions, that is a formal. That's a formal language. But if you say okay, so I'm sorry, then it is informal. Or when you say I intend to resign, that's formal versus I'm going to quit, which is informal. So this is about formal and informal language. Or I'm going to write in there a sentence and you tell me if or you're going to select which one is a formal or an informal verb for it. Okay? All right. Um or did the sentences below to make a telephone conversation circle the informal phrases and expressions. So it's sort of similar. I'll give you a sentence and then you look for the part that has the informal verb or informal word in it. Something like that. So it's quite simple. It's an application of the things that you learned. For your asynchronous session also, I gave you varieties of the English language. So there is your there's the three concentric circles of Asian Englishes according to Kakru. There's your expanding circle, outer circle, and your inner circle. So just go over that a little bit. But of course, there are the differences of British and American English, which are very common and which is a review from your high school. So when you say angry or angry, that's actually British, except when you say mad, which becomes American. The word elevator that we also use is actually very American. In the British concept, they call this the lift. We are the only ones who also use sidewalk because we got it from the American we got it from the American influence. But when you are in a British concept, you say pavement, right? Like Adele, right? The singer Adele is British, so you remember her song Chasing Pavements. That's because she's British. Okay, so probably if she's American, she would say chasing sidewalks or something. I don't know. Or with the word nappy is actually British. In American English or in Filipino English we call that diaper. All right. Okay, so for the there just go over the assessments in your paper in your modules. Like you are going to match the British English word with the American equivalent. So let's have some examples here. Like when you say petrol, it is your gas. um when you say biscuit, it's actually your cookie, etc. All right. No need to go over this latter part. And you had your receptive skills. So remember for your midterm project or for your midterm reading, I asked you to go over The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. So you were supposed to have read that. If you haven't, now's the time for you to read that because there are some items that are taken from there. So go back to the links that I sent you and you read the story. I will not be asking you really some very definite details like what is the name of this character, who was the one who threw a rock that's as big as her head. No, I will not ask you questions like that. Application questions only, like what is the theme, what is the feeling that she was seeing when she said these words, what is the most terrible part in the story or something based on our lecture from the previous week. Okay, so go over those ones. I hope that you remember the key ideas and the concepts that that I've discussed in the lottery. This was also in an asynchronous session, I guess. It's available online, so you can go over the video. It was synchronous, sorry, but the video is available on our YouTube, on our class YouTube. So just go over the key terms in there. All right, so um, for critical reading, we had The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. Of course, steps to becoming a critical reader, starting from preparing to become part of the writer's audience down to the reading journal. We also talked about your content area reading, so the common patterns from comparison to or contrast to general to specific, and of course, your reading strategies, etc. So just go over that. And for your midterm project, we had your critical viewing. So you were analyzing images. So for your midterm project or midterm paper, you analyzed two short videos or two ads, I guess, or photos and one video ad. So those are your applications for critical viewing. However, I will be posting a photo in Google Class. I'll be posting photo in Class Marker for your midterm exam, and you're also going to answer some questions related to that one. So it's still part of critical viewing. So Here's a photo, and I will ask you what is the best theme or what's the best title that you can assign to this video, to this picture, for example. And there will also be around three videos, two or three videos that I will ask you to watch for your examination, similar to your activity before, in which was similar to your register activity from before. So I hope you also watched some of the videos that I hope you watched everything and read everything that I have sent you. There is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's The Danger of a Single Story. I hope that you also watch this. Uh, I was also, you're supposed to have read also the article Speaking in Tongues, How Storytelling Shapes Philippine Languages. There are some keywords in there that might come out in your examination, the lottery, and of course the registers of the language. So you can see those here in the slides that are previously uploaded, or the links that are previously uploaded in Google Classroom. So dapat my expectation here is I've been reserving this activity for the midterm exam for me to be able to check, or for me to be able to see if you really read or you really watch the videos that I am sending you. So those of you who haven't been faithful or going over the activities religiously, or the readings and the viewing tasks properly, and during the time I gave it to you, you will be having some problems for the examination. Nag-usap na tayo dyan. So you're supposed to have finished these things, or you're supposed to have read these things already. For the examination, I hope that you are fully loaded in terms of data. It's only there are only three examinations, and this will be the only times that I will also require this kind of effort from you. So ang wini-wish ko lang naman sa exam nyo ay doon lang kayo ready, lalo na sa data ninyo. During your synchronous sessions, if you're not able to join, I record the video and I ask you to watch it after. So I hope this time you'll also be able to meet me halfway. Make sure that you are in a good spot for the midterm examination. Make sure that you are fully loaded. During the exams, kindly load twice as much as the load that you have during your synchronous. I know that it is expensive, but it's also part of for your comfort, because you don't want to run out of data, or you don't want to have issues later on when you are taking the examination. Even if you've been reviewing, if for that time you were not able to have a very good data connection, sayang lang yung effort mo, sayang lang yung pinag-record, sayang lang yung time for you to take the examination. Okay? So for the examination, I'll be giving you some videos to watch, around approximately 1 minute long each, and you're going to base your answers or your analysis from the videos that I will be sending you. It will either be in YouTube, Drive, or Dropbox, but I make sure that it is public so that you can watch it. Sinasabi ko lang just so you will know what kind that this will be links that you will be watching from later on. So I may ask you, for example, watch this video and I will give you choices. What is the field of this course based on the video? What is the mode? What is the tenor? What do you think is the best? Do you think is the intention of the video, etc. Okay, the examination is actually I think 50 items. However, some parts of it are times two. So even if the examination is 50 items, some parts of it is times two. I think yung 20 ang times two, kaya over 70 yung examination. So the examination is 70 points. It's a very large margin. Just to share with you a little bit of experience with PRPCOM, or with your GE subjects in general, many students really have like bad grades when they are in the midterms already. So first grading, good grades, midterms goes down a little bit or goes down significantly. But for the finals, they're able to cope well because of the activities. Medyo ano na, application activities na tayo sa finals, which are quite, fun and different from the first grading and midterms. Because it's already, 100% related to your course or to your degree. So when you're doing this, you will be taking the task, or you will be taking the examination in class marker. Now, this is class marker. When you're going to register, I'm going to give you new accounts, because as I have said last time, my my account was compromised. So I was not you cannot use the same old class marker from before. However, even if we're not able to use that, titignan ko, I'm going to double check later the accounts. I'm going to give you new codes that you can use for your Google Classroom. And please make sure that you register within the day so that you'll be able to do well for the exam later on. Now, I'll give you your new codes. You go to class marker, click register free. When you click that, go to test takers. Do not take the administrator. So go to test takers. Now put the code that I ask you to put. Please copy. Do not copy and paste is much better because sometimes like a letter O can look like a zero can look like a letter O, and so mas maganda yung copy and paste. For the first name, write your real name, last name, your real family name. Please don't be Jeje. Do not put something like Ivan Jim lang. Ivan first name, last name Jim. I will give you deductions if you don't follow my instructions. So you have to put you have to put your real name in there. So Ivan Jim. Do not use your nicknames. Ivan Jim, Layugan. Username, choose something that you will not forget. Usually good usernames are the first letter or the your initials for your first and middle name and then your family name. So, pag ako nag-create ako ng username, usually IJ Layugan or IS Layugan because my middle initial is S. So, you can write IJ Layugan or IS Layugan. And then your password, very importantly, because you're always having problems with this, make sure that your passwords must be characters long. It must have at least one number and one letter. So to be one of the tips that I give whenever you do your class marker password is you look for a word and then a letter. So or a number. For example, alcohol 10, parang ganon. So yung alcohol capital, yung the first letter is capital. So alcohol capital letter A and the number 10. Or for example, coffee 6. So capital letter C O F F E E and number 6. Oh no, but that's less than 8. So you have to look for a longer word, sorry, like hot coffee. So hot coffee, capital HOTCOFFEE, and then the number 8. So those are good passwords, okay? And please make sure that you write them already. I'm giving this as a warning now, regardless if you watch the video or not. It will take effect this midterms. For every time that you will reset your video, your password with me or your account with me, I'm going to give you a -10, regardless of excuse. Even if your excuse is ni-reformat ko yung laptop ko, I do not have the password anymore, or I reformatted my phone, I cannot find the password anymore, or it's just not getting in. Most of you, ang mga favorite nyo na lines, nilalagay ko naman po yung correct na password na nilagay ko noon pero ayaw pumasok. Basta, regardless of excuse, regardless of reason, if you will ask me to restart or to re-request your password in class marker, that's already a -10 to the examination. Given na yon. So, yun ang gagawin natin para make sure nyo na ilista nyo yung mga yan. You will be having you will be using class marker now for the midterm exam and another one for the finals. So, you will be, please make sure na yung password mo, word lang naman yan, nakalagay yan, or i-text mo na sa sarili mo in your own number so that it will not get lost. So after you do that, you put your email address and then select Philippines, click I agree with the class marker, terms and conditions, click register, and you are good to go. Now, final notes or reminders. I actually choose class marker because of the code and because it actually reports. What does that mean? If you open a tab, I would know. Although, ang ginawa ko dito sa class marker, you are not allowed to open a tab. Right? So, you haven't used class marker yet, but you will observe later on when you use class marker. Pag hindi ko na-off, doon mo mabubuksan. Pero kung na-on ko, kung in-on ko yung no sharing, you cannot be able to open a tab especially those who are using phones, mahirapan kayo. Pati yung mga naka-laptop, you cannot open a tab there. And the good thing about class marker is if you open a window because of the reg code, I would know what you were doing. So class marker will tell me, for example, my student's name is John Santiago. It will say John Santiago has opened a window, and the has opened a window, and then in open and close parentheses nakalagay yung window doon, like ano tawag dito, Facebook on Google Chrome or Messenger on Google Chrome, or it will say something like Ivan Jim Layugan has opened a new window, Adobe Reader. Yung mga nagbubukas ng PDF sa inyo, or Ivan Jim Layugan has opened another window, Safari, kasi doon siya nag-Google. Okay? So, I do not know your intentions when you open another window or another tab, but it will not look good for you. You will not look good with it. My assumption will already be negative. But of course, I understand if you open Messenger, because that's where I put my time limit or my reminders. For the examination, I'll only be giving you reminders in the last 15 minutes. Na, yung una, bahala ka na, pero yung last 15 minutes lang ako magme-message. Now, in terms of taking the exam, we will start 10 minutes after your initial minute. So for example, your class with me is from 8 to 9 a.m. MWF. So if your exam is on Wednesday, we start at 8:10. So we start at 8:10 because I will ask you to watch some videos that you will use for the examination, for your analysis. And after you watch the video, um, class marker will open at 8:10, and then you need to take the test for 45 minutes only. Get that? 45 minutes only. So if you started at 8:10, you are expected to finish at 8:55. What does that mean? Even if you started late, like halimbawa, nag-charge ka pa ng phone mo, or ang hina ng internet mo, so nakapag-start ka na lang ng 8:20, matatapos pa rin tayo ng 8:55. Hindi kita extendan dahil nagsimula ka ng late. You get that? Regardless if you woke up late, if you didn't have data, if you charge your phone or laptop, for example, sir, 8:30 na po ako nakapag-start kasi ang hina po ng data dito. Sinabi ko na yan sa inyo, mag-login kayo ng maaga. You start logging in at, if your class is, example, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you log in 10 minutes or 15 minutes earlier. So for example, ang exam mo sa akin ay 8 o'clock nga, 7:50 you should already be online to so that you will be able to open class marker already, and then open Messenger. If I send you the videos that you need to watch, even if it takes time to load kasi nagbabuffer pa, at least yung 7:50 na nagsimula ka mag-online, pwede mo nang panoorin yung videos na sinend ko. Mag-exam ka na lang mamaya. Okay? So, if you want to take notes for the video, that's fine because you are working, as long as you're working alone, 'di ba? So, walang kaso yun sa akin. Manood ka ng video, pwede kang mag-notes if you want to take notes, and then yun yung basehan mo when you take the exam later on when the choices or the questions are already uploaded. Now, this is also very important. um, Notes on cheating. I don't appreciate cheaters in my class, but it's also awkward for me. Do not put me in a tight and awkward situation where we talk about your cheating. I don't like dealing with cheaters. And the ones that I found out, or once that I have a feeling that you are cheating, I lose respect for you, or I start to become very critical about you. And I don't like feeling that because I'm not very critical about people. Like, I like to see the best things in people, but if people are like that, wala tayong magagawa, 'di ba? So, eto lang, if you're happy about cheating, or if you think you got away with cheating, that's on you. That's, I hope God will bless you, and I hope that God will give you the karma that you deserve. Okay? Yun ang sasabi ko. But that's very, very embarrassing. You are still students and you are already doing that. Just imagine when you will become professionals in the future. It never worked. It never worked that there's a student who is cheating and will say, pag laki ko, hindi na ako magaganon. Hindi po, dadalhin mo yung ugali mo na yan hanggang tumanda, hanggang mamatay ka. Ganyan yung dadalhin mo ugali mo. It's time for you to change. It's time for you to not do that. This is just a classroom activity, but this is the best place for you to show your honesty. I even asked you to sign. Last first grading, some of you were cheating. I was just quiet, but I saw in Google Forms, some of you opened tabs, some of you opened Adobe Reader, some of you opened this and that. some of you open a second Chrome. Kasi hindi yung iba sa inyo takot na mabuksan yung tab pero ang ginawa kasi feeling mas magaling, nagbukas ng pangalawang Google Chrome pero lumalabas siya sa Google Forms ko. Did I say anything to everybody? I did not. I just watched you. I think it's the pandemic that made me feel this way, but I just said, karmahin ka na lang. Yung mga nangopya sa inyo, yung mga nakita ko ha, the ones I discovered who cheated and that I have proof that you cheated, you got zero for the exam. That's why some of you, I think you failed for the first grading because your exam is failing, right? But for those of you who are still having that kind of attitude, naku, ewan ko na sa inyo. Good luck sa inyo. We will all remember you that way. Even if you feel like you got away with it, remember if there's a time when you don't feel really good or may hindi ka makukuhang project or scholarship or grade or ikakasama ng loob mo, karma mo yan sa PRPCOM. Pinag-pray ko yan na karmahin ka dyan sa ginawa mo dito sa klase natin. So, yun lang ang masasabi ko sa inyo. I hope that you are true and honest to yourselves. Okay? So, I'm just telling you right now that I know everything that's going on in there. If of course I do not know your password and I cannot see your screen, but Google Class Marker will tell me if you open a tab, if you opened a window, if you opened I know that there are many things that you're already doing, but it doesn't, that's already on you. If you are using your phone and laptop at the same time, you are doing your test and then you are googling in your phone, that's also on you. That's still on you. If you have a printed module and you're taking the test and then going over your module, that is also on you. Pandemya ngayon, so trust ang operation natin. Pero kung niloloko mo ang sarili mo na akala mo nakakataas ka ng score dyan sa ginagawa mo, isipin mo porpcom lang to. It's not worth it. Makakarma ka ng malaki sa buhay mo na nag-cheat ka lang naman dahil sa porpcom or sa ibang subjects mo ngayon. So, I'm just saying, I want to share this because it's something that I heard from other teachers as well. So many teachers are complaining or talking about this, and this is something that we don't need to talk about sana kasi matanda na kayo. Sa edad nyo na yan, gumagraduate na ang mga estudyante noon. Ang mga estudyante noon nung wala pang K-12, gumagraduate yan ng 18, 19, 20. Ngayon, ganyan ang ugali ninyo, nakakatakot. So, I hope that we don't have problems with this anymore. Okay. So for this hour, I hope 30 minutes. I hope you went over this video. I hope that this review session will help you. And please go over your class marker accounts and I'll see you guys I'll see you guys during the exam day. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Good luck with your examination. Fully load, pray to God or pray to whoever you're praying to. Drink lots of water or get water beside you. If in the examination sanay ka na naka-shorts lang, mag-shorts ka, nakahubad sa kwarto mo, go lang. Wala namang camera or there's no one who can see you. Anyway, so you have your total freedom to whatever you want to do. Just be comfortable during the exam and make sure that you are ready. You are prepared, you are well reviewed, um, you have everything that you need. Okay, so honesty is the operation, but the goal in here is for you to do well or for you to really show what you understood from the subject. So with that, goodbye everybody, and I'll see you during the exam dates.